Barbershop Quartet. And that was my information for you. So, well, hang on a minute. Let's see what's going on here for a second.
WSAI, Cincinnati, Ohio. Action Central headline.
Under cloudy skies, the WSAI land temperature at 75 degrees. The White House says there have been some definite gains in the railroad negotiations. The plane carrying Mrs. Johnson to Cleveland was struck by lightning today, but no one was harmed. Some 300 convicts are staging a sit-in in their cells at the Nebraska State Prison Complex in Lincoln. And thousands of students are reported taking part in a school boycott in Cleveland.
WSAI land weather.
Official weather forecast this afternoon, tonight, and tomorrow, Tuesday. Considerable cloudiness and mild with occasional periods of showers, a few thunderstorms likely. The high today near 80, low tonight in the low 60s, high tomorrow in the mid-70s. The river 32.6 rising, pressure 29, 99, and steady. The wind out of the south-southwest 12 miles an hour, relative humidity 71%. The present WSAI land temperature at 75 degrees. If it happens in Northside, you'll hear it first on WSAI. Rod Williams reporting.
WSAI Action Central headline.
Did that voice sound familiar to you at all?
Well, it certainly does to me.
I'm talking about in the 60s. This is Rod Williams on there with me via phone patch, WAIF. And Rod, it's a pleasure. I'm glad you called. And like I said, I got a little nostalgia there for you. Back in the day?
Well, I must say, Lenny, that it's a privilege to be on your show. It's a great show. And you guys have a really great radio station. I could listen to that station all day long. I mean, great diversity, great talent. It's an honor to be here, my boy.
Well, thank you, my friend. And Rod was inducted in the Hall of Fame for his combat coverage in Vietnam on WSCI. And his film documentary of that conflict in 1966. Rod also served as news director of WSAI and then went on to manage radio stations in Hawaii, or should I say Hawaii, and Alaska, before returning to Cincinnati to manage WCVG and WRBZ. WCVG was the world's only all-Elvis radio station. And I remember that myself when you signed on, Rod.
Well, great. It was a fun station. We made a lot of money at first, but the listening public began to wane a bit. And so the money was not rolling in like we anticipated, so we went to an all-business format.
No, I understand. That happens to a lot of stations, but I mean, what the heck? You tried. It was great. I thought it was good. If you wanted to hear a, baby, let me be your loving teddy bear. Well, never mind. That's enough for my Elvis impersonator. Anyway, so what, what was it like to be in the war zone when you were covering the war in Vietnam, my friend?
Well, Lenny, as you probably know, I'm a very brave person. But in Vietnam, I was scared to death 99.9% of the time. And got into some hairy situations. As a matter of fact, one serious moment came when I was traveling with Senator Robert Taft Jr. in a C-130 cargo provider aircraft. And we actually drew some ground fire. After that, I didn't wear my flak jacket anymore, but I did sit on it, and for good reason. The plane, by the way, was hit, and unlike NBC's Brian Williams,
I was going to ask you that, but that's all right.
This story happens to be true.
Okay. Well, hey, can you give our listeners a little bit of the history of WSAI and the golden age of rock and roll and include some of the personalities from that era?
Well, a guy you know, newsman Sam Jones,
yes,
was a standout, a good friend of yours, was a standout in our news department, having covered the 1966 riots, lots of civil rights marches. He did an excellent job in editing and producing my reports from Vietnam. And, of course, another mutual friend of ours, Dusty Rhodes, has to be mentioned for his polished pro on-air style.
Yeah, I had him on my first show, as a matter of fact. He called in for me. It was great, yes.
Yeah, I heard that show, and it was great. He kept SAI #1 in the ratings while he was program director. And he still has a lot of fans in Cincinnati, very popular. In fact, his name's on just about every gasoline pump.
Well, he is the auditor, you know.
Yeah, I mean, well, oh, he's the auditor. I'm sorry. I thought that sign on the big gas pumps said auditing. Hamilton County
Oddity.
And now, yeah, and now I find out it says auditor.
Boy, if Dusty's listening to this, I will catch 7 kinds of you-know-what.
He was a great guy. He made a ton of money at SAI. He not only drew a hefty salary, which everybody was jealous, but he had, I don't know, 3-4 record hops a night.
Well, don't forget about the what was it, out there at Castle Farms. He had, he had dances at Castle Farm, which I know I'm showing my age now, and he brought the Beatles to Cincinnati the first time.
Yes, he did. And he made so much money from those, he actually had a wheelbarrow that he brought to the hops. And he and Joanne would sit up late at night, 2 o'clock in the morning, counting the money.
You mean Bubbles?
And it was, yeah, Bubbles.
Yeah, he always called her Bubbles.
And and all the disc jockeys were jealous of him because he was making so much money. It was disgusting.
Well, now, wait a minute.
And,
I don't think you were much of a slacker myself, because I know that you took a break for a little bit to become involved in Ohio's first private jet club. So why don't you tell us about that?
Well, okay, I guess I can do that. We being Jim Tigert, another person you know, who was our Sims Township chief of police, and also Sanford Paris, who was a fruit basket seller, as I recall, when I first met him. We joined together and acquired a Convair 884 engine, 117 seat intercontinental range jet airplane. How about that?
Wow.
Tell me about it.
It had wings and everything, huh?
Yeah, it actually had wings. It was a former Cathay Pacific plane and really long in the tooth.
Okay.
And required a lot of maintenance. In fact, I'm writing a book about Jetaway right now because it was really a fun and crazy operation. I just hope that it sells as successfully as my current mystery novel, Kahulavi, which is on the internet as an ebook. But in any case, it was a fun operation, very popular, 6,000 members. We flew all over the place in the U.S., Mexico, even as far away as Monte Carlo.
Wow.
So,
I've read about that place.
It was a lot of fun. It was a fun operation, and too bad we didn't know each other in those days, because I'm sure you would have been great would get away with your personality.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Well, the only Monte Carlo I know is my neighbor's car. That's about as far as I know about Monte Carlo. Now, I know you're retired now, and retired from radio, so what are you doing to keep busy these days?
Well, Lenny, I spend a lot of time in my cabin here in Beaufort, Holler, Kentucky. I tend my garden every day. I have a lot of plants there. Of course, in the daytime, I have to cover it with a camouflage net. But,
oh, sure, yeah.
It's a very healthy garden. And other than that, I ride my mules to town once in a while for supplies, and I hope to buy some shoes this year because my bare feet get really cold in the winter here in Kentucky.
Well, you don't need shoes. You're in Kentucky, though, do you?
Well, I normally don't wear shoes because, it's an encumbrance. But, by the way, an update on some of your friends from SAI that you know personally. Sam Jones, he's retired. He's in Pennsylvania. He's joined the Mennonite community there.
Okay.
And he rides his horse and buggy throughout that area.
Really?
Are you by chance related to Guido Carbonia?
No, actually, it was Uncle Guido, and yes, I do. I do communicate with him quite often when I need his service.
Oh, good. well, it's too bad you said that because Guido was partners with Tito Carinci.
Oh, okay.
And operated most of the gambling dens and houses of ill fame in Newport some years ago.
There was nothing like that in Newport. What are you talking about? You talking about when Ratterman might have been the mayor over there?
Yeah, George Ratterman. And then Tom Kennington, he's retired in Florida.
Tom Kennington, yeah, I remember him.
Yeah, I remember him. He was a morning man and the best one we ever had, to tell you the truth. And he joined Disney World and became a very top executive there.
Really?
Jim Smith, program director and station manager for years. He's retired. He's got a 1,500-acre ranch in Tennessee. He raises sheep. So he's a busy guy.
Yeah, sounds like it. Now, I do remember this one evening guy. I loved him. Ron Britton. And he used to squeeze this thing, and he always called it moo cow.
Yeah, exactly.
He was hilarious.
You're going way back now.
I know. Ron Britton, yeah.
Ron Britton, yeah. So, anyway, Jim's that I just mentioned, he and I are both getting up there in age. I mean, we're getting pretty old, and Jim is older than I am.
Age is just a number, sir. Believe me, age is just a number. It's a high number, but it's a number.
But it's really high, too. So anyway, Jim has this little Shih Tzu. Can I say Shih Tzu?
Well, sure. It's a breed of a dog. My gosh.
Yeah, right. So anyway, Jim carries this dog with him wherever he goes.
God.
And
his little purse dog.
Yeah. And unfortunately, the dog died about 2 years ago.
Oh, my God.
And nobody has the heart to tell Jim. So he's still going around with the dog. So, you know,